So I'm Margot and we are here in Lanzarote for Jack's boat tour. So Jack, can you present us your boat?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot like the other guys' boats. I really don't know what's too exciting about it compared to the ones you've already seen.
So you got no furler on, right?
Correct. I did go without the furler. I did like the extra sail area. The furler raises the tack of the sail up to about here, so I get a little more sail down here on the bottom. So I get about another, I don't know, 200 mil or something like that all the way back. So I get a little extra sail area going upwind. It's good. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Is weight a part of that as well?
Not for me. I'm kind of a big guy, and I wasn't. I mean, sure it helps, but I was mostly being cheap. But I like the extra sail area, so I really like that. You can see most of the guys run their A5 all the time, unless I'm actually drawing using the sail. I try not to run it because it does. Especially if I'm running the jib, it really does mess up the flow over the jib. So I think only putting the A5 up. You know, if I'm using the A3, I probably would run the A5 inside of it. But if I'm running the jib, I really try to have the A5 down because it does mess up the jib pretty badly.
All ropes are turned around? So all ropes are led back to the cockpit?
Yes.
You can reef from the cockpit?
Yeah, I can pretty much reef from the cockpit. I did a little bit differently than some of the other guys. I brought the actual reef lines back all the way to the back. And then for the tack side of it, I actually will pull these through the tack and retie them here. So they'll go each one up to the proper tack and then bring them back down to here. And then I have one, I don't know if it makes, might be hard to, might have to look at it in a second to make it easier to see, but I have one, you can see I ran them all through one fair lead up there and then brought everything back right to this one, so I can run each tack line on the reef part right back through this cleat, so I just swap them out as I use them.
Right.
And that way I can do pretty much everything from back here. The main is pretty easy to adjust. The main halyard is easy to adjust. So I can pretty much bring the tack line down right and then just bring the halyard back up to snug it up. So I don't have to grind the tack line down so much.
Hatches are all Luma?
No? I don't know how you say it, C-U-L-E. The cool hatches from New Zealand.
Okay.
And I just bought whatever they offered.
But happy with them? No leaks?
Yeah, pretty happy with them. Yeah, the hatch under the mast, under the vane, I could have probably gone with a smaller one, but I also created a lifting harness for the inside of the boat that comes up through there, and then the harness comes up through that hatch, and then I tie two more to the rings on the back of the boat and use that to lift the boat up, so I don't have to use slings. And I'm really happy with that. So I needed a hatch there of some flavor, but I'm really happy with all the. And I'm sorry, Cooley. I don't know how to say your name. I've only seen it written.
I think they have to sponsor you officially and have a first interview, so to get the name right. I think
oh,
so,
good.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we should arrange something there.
Yeah, C-U-L-E hatches, and they're out of New Zealand, and they provide a kit just for the 580s, and this is different than some of the other guys because we have the pod. We put it on the observation pod. You can use a slightly larger hatch, and for me being a bigger guy, it's a great benefit. I get in and out of the boat super easy, and it's very comfortable to get in and out.
Solar panels, got them on 2 poles.
Yeah, 2 poles. That was kind of a last minute thing. I think if I could, I would probably try to find a slightly more robust version of the ball mount. I don't really need it to be locking like it is. If I had a little more time before I played with it and got it right, I would probably build my own little ball mounts. So there's not this added toggle in the middle, but it is important that you be able to orient them properly, because especially the directions we're sailing on this race, it's not really conducive to a flat panel anywhere. This one is a nice panel, but it's not super useful unless you're sitting at a dock. So these two you can orient pretty well, and that's 50 watts a piece, and it really helps out to be able to.
I mean, I heard that from all the other boats, so the one on the ops port, basically, you could basically save it, huh?
Right.
Because it's mostly shadowed and.
Yeah, it's there's times you get it to work a little bit, but I think this is a 75, so it's capable of what, 3.5 or 4 amps of in, and at the best I'm getting 1.5 or 2 amps out of it. So there's not a lot of.
So you got nice flappers on?
Yes, good.
Very good, eh?
Yeah.
Otherwise you have wet feet all the time.
The first time I did a qualifier, I had pretty wet feet, and then I got the flappers on, and it helped out. I don't think I got pooped that much, but my feet were dry, so that wasn't the thing I was most paying attention to. So I had dry feet this time. I think they worked pretty well. So and they were really simple. I just used a piece of neoprene rubber and put a piece of plastic to stiffen them up a little bit, and then screwed them in. There's nothing too fancy about them.
So in the bag we got a Torpedo, outboard, South Atlantic wind vane. Here's the ladder, and otherwise.
If you get a South Atlantic wind vane, at the very least, take everything apart you can, and use some sort of Tef gel, Lanacoat, use something so that the bolts don't bind up, because they do have corrosion issues. So at the very least, take it as much apart as you can, cover everything in Tef gel or Lanacoat, and put it back together.
You've put a second screw there, right? Where the servo pendulum is.
I had one originally, and this wasn't standard across all of them. Some of them had it and some of them didn't. It had a set screw on this side, and that one bound up on me and I couldn't get it out. So I drilled that one out and tapped it so it had clean threads. And then I drilled all the way through the other side and put another bolt in there and with threads. And I used that one permanently, and then the remaining threads that are in this side I can use for a backup if something bad happens to the original.
Okay, brilliant. Traveler here.
Yeah, I like the Traveler. Keep it very clean. The Blue Shark Traveler came with ceramic balls. I had some problems with ball slipping, and I don't know if you can see it. I think it's on this side of the Traveler, but it caught some of the balls, skidded a little bit, and wrecked some of the landings. So in the U.S. we have a supply house called McMaster Carr, and they sell the proper sized balls to go in that. So if you're going to use the Blue Shark package, replace the balls with Torlon balls. Delrin's not quite strong enough. Use Torlon, and in most places, I suspect you can buy those balls, and if not, I'm sure you can buy them from McMaster Carr in the U.S. You might even be able to get them from Harkin if you can figure out what size they are. I think they were 4mm, but I can't remember. But definitely replace those balls. You want the balls to fail before the track or the car fail.
Any further questions, Margot?
I have one about this here.
Uh-huh.
With the boom, you can't put the boom down as you want to. Is it limits you by using the mainsail and the boom at put it down or no?
It doesn't. It's when the vang is on tight or the main sheet is on really tight, I still have about 75 to 100 mil clearance of the boom, and I did very carefully check that before I started stacking things up, because I was super concerned about that too. Some of the builders, nobody here, but some of the builders talked about raising this up even higher, and I said be very careful. You know, I went onto the forums. I said be very careful about that, because there's not a ton of space in there.
Further questions?
Maybe another one. So the solar panel here, you can put it. It depends on the weather that you have. When there is storm, you can't let them out like this.
Yeah, I could. I mean, certainly they're on with connectors. So if it got really bad, I could take them off and throw them below. In general, I find that if I need to, I can just flatten them out, and then just snug up the strings, and it stays relatively low drag. But yes, given the choice, I can undo these two connectors, I can loosen this, I can untie the strings and take them all below. And
Cool.
I haven't had to yet, but we'll see how it goes.
Right, talking going down below. Shall we go down below?
Sure.
Have a look?
Sure.
Alright. Okay, going down below on right now. Jack Johnson. Oh, America. Alright, there we go.
See if I can.
Nice. Oh, the wood finish.
Yeah, a little bit of wood, just a little bit of, it was easier to do that. You can actually buy this from Defender in the US and just chop them off, put a couple coats of varnish on it. It's pretty easy to do, so.
What's your favorite part of the interior right now?
Of the interior, I'm pretty happy with the outside of the electrical box.
How is the inside?
It looks like a spaghetti, a spaghetti factory blew up with multicolors. It's terrible, but I did label all the ends of the wires. I have a pretty good, understanding of how it all works, but it does not look good in there. So. If you have a little extra time and more inclination than I have, I would suggest making that a lot cleaner.
So you're holding up on one of those two bars. I saw them earlier and I like them a lot.
I added those two because I got bounced around a little bit doing a little bit of sailing, and I wanted some sort of handle. I didn't want to put fasteners through the pod to the outside of the boat. So this end is just it's a dowel drilled and glued into the bulkhead that sticks out about an inch or so. The end of the rod is drilled, so it's just a dowel that goes through here, and then the front end of it is just has one screw through the middle of it, and I'm pretty happy with it. Again, being a big guy, I don't lean on him. I try not to lean on him. I did put a center support in him that helps him a lot. I try not to lean on him too much, but underway, I always have both lee cloths up, so getting in and out of the bunk, having a handle to pull yourself up and over is really easy. But my lee cloths, currently I have no support that goes up. I just go fore and aft, but these are both ends of the lee cloth are really well supported. That's screwed into basically the end of the seat on the outside of the boat. And then this one is actually through bolted into the forward bulkhead, so it's super strong. And then that's my lee cloth. At some point I may, if I find a need, I may tie something up to it, but I haven't found a need yet. So, and if you have something up there, it's slow to get out in case if something goes wrong. So I do try to.
So got the galley here. Gimbals, jet oil.
Yep.
There you go.
Nothing.
Pumping out all above water.
I have the water hose hooked up, water faucet hooked up, and I have a foot pump down there, but none of that's hooked up. I was gonna use flexible bladders, and then they got outlawed, and then any of the hard mount tanks, I didn't find a good solution that I really liked. So I have 6 of these at 5 gallons apiece, and they each have a little spigot on it. And so far, I've loved them. They work great, and you can shift the weight on the boat. All of mine are stored here under the settees. So if you want to shift them around to get better weight display, you know, if you're on port or starboard, and you want a little. If it's light and you want more heel, you put them on that side. If you want to flatten the boat out a little bit, you can put them on the correct side, on the high side, and it's a great easy way of moving ballast around in a pretty short order.
All right. So tell me about these pictures here.
Oh,
the artwork.
So the top one is from a bunch of friends from Alamitos Bay Yacht Club in Long Beach, the yacht club I belong to, and they were fantastic, and they were all so supportive, and they've done so much for me and encouraging me, and a couple of them came over to Gabe Faramola, our Commodore, and Mike Shea and their wives, and my wife, and Kevin Thomas, and his girlfriend Helen Burdett came over to Lagos and supported me and helped me get the boat all set up and everything, and it was the greatest to have them there. It was so much fun, and they were all so helpful and so supportive. And then the next picture is my sister's son. She just adopted about 2 years ago, and they got together and made a cool little drawing. And when I look at it, I get all verklempt. Yeah, the waterworks start, exactly. It's just more than I can expect. It's just such a. I just love them so much, and I love my family so much that they're so supportive too. So
it's great. If you're out there alone, you start to realize who matters in life.
Oh, no question.
And it just rolls out. Yeah.
And my Alamitos Bay group gave me a Nito bracelet that has a great story behind it that I won't bore you with, but they gave me something to remember them by while I'm on the water, and you bet your happy ass I'll be wearing it as long as I can wear it. You know, it means a lot to me, so I thank them for giving it to me.
The people are the ones who make this whole thing. Yeah?
It's hard to be away from them, but thinking of them on the water keeps you going for sure.
Part of the dream. Okay. Moving back to the technical parts.
Yeah.
So forward, very empty, keeping the weight out, I guess.
Yes, for sure, keeping the weight out. I think you can see a little portable head that I don't really use. It's sort of more of a backup in-port sort of thing. I'll probably, because it's so light, I'll probably strap it up forward in the bow someplace just to keep it out of the way.
It's funny when because I don't have a toilet either, and I got a brand new porta potty, and I brand new, and when I arrived on the other side, it was still brand new, never used it.
Yeah.
Too complicated because you have to put all the liquid in it.
I mean, this is what I've got. I have about 3 creature comforts. This is one, and this seat that I just purchased and I've never used and I can't wait to try it out is probably the only other major creature comfort I have.
Oh, it's those that have the that stays folded up, right?
Yep, stays folded up.
Brilliant. Yeah, I got those too.
I'm excited about it. I've never used it. For 6 days, I never really felt I had a need to, but for in the neighborhood of 25, I think it's going to be a definite benefit.
Saver.
A bum saver for sure.
Brilliant. Okay, so life raft stored down below.
Life raft.
Got it down there.
Right through there.
Medical back there.
Medical kits.
One, yes,
medical kits there. This is just a extra sleeping bag, or the sleeping bag. The seat, people might have a problem with the way that comes out. Well, my lee cloths attach right here, and they pretty much hold the step in. If I need to, I can unclip both sides, and this whole step lifts out really easy. You know, I kick it once and push it one direction, and then it lifts right out, and I can pull the life raft right out of it. So it looks like it's buried, but it's very accessible.
Margot, questions?
No.
No?
It's been very clear.
All clear. All right, perfect. I think so too. It's very neat. It's very clean. Everything is very easily accessible. The beauty.
I guess this might be the other. This
Right.
might be the other thing. That's I swing that out so I can see it outside. I can always track my speed and everything. And then if when I'm down below doing navigation, it's easy to see
From the bunk. Yeah.
from the bunk. If I'm sleeping on that side, I usually swing it out halfway and I can see what I'm doing.
Brilliant. Huh?
You know, if I have any sort of compass changes or anything like that, it makes it. You know, I'm very happy with that part of it as well.
Otherwise, so here's the general arrangement plan. Got the EPIRB, fire extinguisher, torches. You have the access to the bank.
Yep.
Right? You have access to the locker down
It's
there.
back there.
Because yeah, right. So we didn't talk about that when we were outside. The whole cockpit is watertight, right? You don't have any lockers outside.
Correct. No lockers outside. I didn't. That was one thing. They said they wanted a waterproof compartment back there, and I took that very seriously. And just for the hassle, you know, as good as all these hatches are, and the hatch covers I used are, they're never 100%. And so just not violating any of the seats of the back there and not allowing any water in was pretty important.
Perfect. Ready for the race?
I think so. As I run to the store and get a bunch of fruit and things like that, that'll make me fully ready. I think I'm want to do a little bit more routing. You know, think about which direction I'm planning on going. That might change. That it always has a possibility of changing, but I think that was one of my strengths. I had some pretty good routing information last time, so I hope to use that again.
One big advice to anyone who's building 580s right now?
Consider the fact that this is your little home. Don't take any shortcuts. Build it as strong and as good as you're physically capable in the time frame you have, and when you get out here, you'll be happy. If you take any shortcuts, you will think about those, and you won't be comfortable. You won't be able to either sail the boat hard or push yourself hard or whatever. Build it the best you possibly can.
Brilliant. Jack, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.